Three, two, one. I believe we are live.
Watch The Fling Show live on YouTube Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Oh, we got the tree.
It's not very nice. First one takes it right by that tree. Mr. Bente out the box with the free tail. Got a hook up. Oh, we got a beautiful kick. Ah,
A little bit of tree love.
love. Come out, come out. Come on. Get off the tree. Get off. Get off.
Oh,
Stand up. Come on, dude. Oh, hit another one.
No turn.
The Fling Show. The Fling Show. You wanna know about the mystery of flight. You wanna hear about the scene done right. So kill your TV and just come outside. We're gonna take you on a beautiful ride. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show.
Oh, I wish I could feel like that.
So kill your TV and just come outside. We're gonna take you on a beautiful ride. The Fling Show. 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 just come outside. We're gonna take you on a beautiful ride. Fling show, the 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 fling show.
Well, welcome, folks, this evening to the Fling Show. I'm your host, Chris McClung. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As you can see, I think I got every single person who competed this past weekend at the Southern Star Duo at Little E, the course that I was able to TD at, as you could see, along with their card. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. Could have, but I think I got all 60 of you, except for Fred Needham, who, if anyone knows how Fred plays, he shoots so quickly. You got to get him quick because he waits for no man. But thank y'all for joining the show. Also, David Himmeline, love that opening music again. It just sets the tone so very well. Thank you so much for all the music that we use here on the Fling Show. And as you can see behind me, it's time to thank our wonderful sponsors, Lone Star Disc, the only disc made and manufactured in the state of Texas. And they have been behind the Fling Show since day one. And not only that, though, Southern Star Duo was sponsored and co-sponsored by Lone Star Disc this weekend. We could not have done it without you and Southern Star Brewery. Thank you both so much for what you do in the disc golf community. And like I always say, Texans support Texans. So go out, patron both these companies, look them up online, join them up on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever they call that, TikTok, all that stuff that they have out there. Sign up, support both of these companies because we need to grow locally to grow strong. And we really appreciate both of those companies, especially for what they did over this weekend. So it's time to wrap up this weekend, and I can't do it alone. I have a partner in crime, the man responsible for the tournament this year and many others, Mr. Matt Stillwagon from Stillbanign. All the Chains is back this evening and to join the show and tell us all about the tournament this weekend. Matt, thanks for coming back in and joining in. I know you're tired. Let's talk about what happened over the weekend.
Yeah. It was interesting, for a tournament that had been on the books for almost 4 months, the registrations and the way that registration goes these days, you don't really get a good look at your numbers until the last minute, except for some of those top end prestigious tournaments. And so I was a little bit nervous about how we were looking. And then all of a sudden, everybody came out of the woodwork. I think the weather sorted itself out, and I think people came up and realized they had nothing on the docket for the weekend, and so we got 60 players that showed up. We split the field in half to make for an efficient tournament. I jokingly like to say that it's always nice whenever you go to have the 1 hour lunch break, and it happened again this weekend because I told the guys on my A-poll round that started at McDade, they got done and said, "So what time are we starting the second round?" I said, "Well, I got good news and I got bad news for you." They said, "Well, what's the bad news?" I said, "We're going to start around 12:15. Oh, well, that's actually pretty good. So what's the other news? Well, if you go out for lunch right now and you go to a fast food place, they're still serving breakfast. So I hope you're in the mood, so it's kind of nice to be able to do that. We got everybody. I think we were at the brewery no later than like 3:30, 4 o'clock at the latest. And I mean, everybody had a blast of a time out there at the brewery. Dave always puts on, the boys and Dave over at Southern Star Brewery, they put on such an awesome venue that it makes it so easy for all of us to get together for fellowship. Dave had me drinking some of his new honey mead wine and stuff that he had, and I picked up a couple bottles of that. That stuff was really, really good. So it's always great to kind of hobnob with the mad scientist, old Dave Fergeron, and let him, just kind of show you what he's thinking. But excellent tournament this weekend. We had a really solid field. I was really impressed with the field that we ended up with. Some great local names, some faces I hadn't seen before. I'd like to give a thank you to the locals that came out to play their usual casual round at their local course, but were understanding enough of park fees and such, and gladly went to other courses that were less occupied. And so we appreciate their cooperation. And these are the way that courses, these kinds of events support the courses. They bring revenue to the Parks and Rec. And when a park has to do a redesign or a reconfiguration for repurposing or anything, and they go to decide things that they want to keep, these are the kinds of statistics that support the growth and sustenance of the disc golf facilities we have in our area. So
Matt, let me chime in real quick with that for you, because I know that you went through a couple of different things that I did not have to deal with at Little E, even though I did have some people who wanted to play casual, but they were much more friendly. I do appreciate the education that was given to the players, because I think sometimes they don't understand what you just said. Without the park and recreation being able to justify disc golf being there, they need to see participation. With participation, they've noticed that it comes with tournament play. Tournament play has benefited the Parks and Rec situations throughout not only Conroe Parks and Wildlife, but also through the city of Houston. You and I both know that, you more than anyone else who built this game for like the last 15 years. So that being said, it is a way for parks to continue to put disc golf courses in these areas for us to play. And it is a way for them to generate money. And just like a soccer field or a softball field or the pavilion that you eat at, they can all be leased out for a fee, and it helps out your parks and recreation. So let's educate these people, so hopefully next time they have a better understanding.
Well, and let's also state too, I didn't always do my disc golfing in the state of Texas, and we are extremely fortunate in this area to have such a plethora of courses that shutting down 2 courses, and I believe there was even another event going on over at Stonebridge that day as well. So 3 different courses, but you still have so many different courses that you can be within 15 minutes of there. It's phenomenal. But we're very blessed to have that situation. But getting back to the tournament, wow. Just some really, really kind of surprising things. I gotta say, I really love the vibe on the ladies' cards that was out there this weekend. Um, you know, uh, I where should we start, Chris? I guess I got to tell you, I'll start with the FA 50. I think it was. Let's see here. You got your scroll down there for me, buddy?
I'm coming.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a coming. FA. Oh, where did I get pay?
Where'd she go? There we go. FA3, excuse me. Teresa
Yeah.
F. I got to tell you something. Teresa has come a long way in this game. She's a great testament to being surrounded by good people who nurture her growth in the game. I've seen this woman come a very long way, and I don't care that she was in a division of 1. I think what's incredible is, this woman plays with some injury to hip and knee, and she goes out there and she slings it and flings it with the best of them, and she has fun doing it, and the improvements are definitely marked. And so very glad she was able to play and do extremely well out there this weekend. In the FA2 division, scroll up there for me, buddy. There we go. All right. This one I love to talk about. Ashton Harris. Okay. I love watching Ashton play. She's got such a true enjoyment of the game. If you can't be friendly with Ashton, the problem is on you. Trust me. Great gal. Even when you left her off of the champions thing the other night, how dare you, Chris? No, I'm just kidding. She's phenomenal though, and I got to tell you, she's come a long way as well. I mean, her numbers are climbing. She's doing extremely well, and I just love watching her play. Such a great attitude, and she throws a good disc. I'll tell you what I learned about her this weekend. The girl can putt. She can definitely putt. So I look forward to seeing her continue her growth in the game. But congratulations to her. And then moving on up to our other female division. And there we go. All righty. So quite an interesting weekend with these ones here. Jennifer, I had the pleasure of walking a hole with her, and I got to tell you, she is solid off the tee box. She throws a really good disc. Put herself in a great position on one out at McDade, and then I saw her on a few other holes as well. She just plays solid golf, and it was nice to watch her play. Congratulations to Kelsey Sweeten too, coming in second. She had quite the day. She was real close there. So it was nice to see the competition be close to give that competitive atmosphere and just kind of keep everybody sharp. It's a lot more fun that way. All right, let's go back down to the bottom. We'll cover the male portion of the program, or the mixed portion of the program. First of all, I don't know this gentleman in particular, but congratulations.
I do. Let me speak about him real quick. He
Please.
came all the way down from Hobby Airport Way. And he is basically new to disc golf, just a couple tournaments in, and was just excited to be able to play in the event and had a blast. Matter of fact, I spoke to him this morning as well, and he was just a pleasure. Just on top, he was on cloud nine when he was getting his winnings, and it was just fun to see. You know how I'm a big supporter of the M4 division. That's pretty much my division, and I just really appreciate these guys who came out, and even Dave, who hadn't played in so long. He struggled a little bit, as you could see, but it was just great to see him back out there, him and Fernando as well. But that field, to me, probably had the most fun of all.
Well, I got to tell you something. If I'm in that M4 division, I mean, you got Ochoa in there and you got Dave in there, but if I see a guy in my division whose nickname is listed on the PDGA as Slap-a-Baby, I got to tell you, that's pretty intimidating to face out there, to be 100% honest with you.
Hopefully he's a pediatrician. Maybe he's a baby doctor.
It could very well be, but I just think, I mean, that's like the Mike Tyson "Mama Said Knock You Out" entrance song right there. Who are you? I'm Slap-a-Baby.
Right.
So, but awesome job by him this weekend. In the MA3 division, Chris War. Let me tell you what, this guy's like a little disc golf ninja. I see him show up to like a couple of tournaments of ours, and then he disappears for like months on end. I'm sure it's like work related and he's got other stuff going on, but I tell you, it's almost like, he sees the still banging stuff, like the bat signal in the sky, and he's like, I'm on the way, and he shows up, he plays well. I mean, 3-stroke victory over a pretty decent sized field. So, congratulations to Chris, and don't go sneaking up on anybody. Let us know you're coming, bro.
Oh, Chris and I are friends. He's in that group with me and Travis and Treg and Jordan. And we're the ones who all kind of play together. And I've got to see his game grow. This is the second time he's won an event, a still banging event as well. His game is getting better. And as you can see right there, both those rounds were well over his rating, even at Little League. And to shoot a 932, 932 at Little E in round one.
Yeah,
that's saying something. That's strong, and I'm so proud of him. He too has just come a long way, and but he's going after the Travis and the Jordans, and he's going after that 900 rating. So I see his game only getting better. So congratulations to you, Chris, and the other Chris Hansen, right down there in third place. My goodness, thank goodness he can play. That man has got more injuries. I mean, between him and Mayo, I don't know who walks around the course more injured. It's got to be one of those two. But thanks for coming out, Chris, and playing as well. Good job hanging in there.
I hope that those top three guys in that division like the show the Jeffersons, because Weezy and George about to tell them boys they need to be moving on up. Okay.
Moving on up.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
That's
All
right.
right, let's get to MA2.
MA2, Drew Jones steps up, and let me tell you what. Speaking of a guy who's needing to listen to some Jeffersons, this man is moving. I mean, look at the spread there, -5 to Jordan Kessner's +5. I got to tell you, he posted two rounds that were well over his rating. Um, Solid day for the young man. So I'm really glad to see that. And watch out, MA1. You may have somebody moving up here pretty soon. He's at 914, and these ratings right here will certainly give him a good little boost at the end of the year. So congratulations, Drew.
Yeah, no doubt. He's 3 birdies shy on Lily of hitting 1,000 rated round out there.
No
Congratulations.
kidding.
At least 3 strokes. It doesn't have to be 3 birdies, but at least
Absolutely.
3 strokes somewhere out there. And my goodness, let's go ahead and just say it. For his 7,915th all-time win is, drum
I'm
roll,
telling
please.
you, Fred the Machine Needham. I'm telling you what, one day that guy is going to go and like open up his trunk and just have a pop-up store that folds out. When he retires, he's going to come up with some contraption because the guy just keeps on winning. I mean, it doesn't matter how many accolades he gets, but such a good guy to watch. Truly enjoys the sport, enjoys the competition. He's been a great volunteer for us at other tournaments, and I love Fred, man. I've known Fred for a real long time. So congratulations, Fred. The other two guys that are in there, man, Bob Koch, man, you got that guy, he's out there slinging it just as well as anybody too. And David Epps, I mean, the participation in that division for this event, I mean, it's 3, but you don't get many of the MA60s out. So it was really nice to see a good field sort itself out.
I'll be with you guys next year. Just so you know, that's my division next year. I'm stepping up, moving up to MA60, just so you know. So David also is Teresa's husband, and he has been one who's been extremely supportive of Stillbanging. I want to give a shout out to him. He's always out there on Sundays with Prison City Chain Gang as well. At Shawshank, and he has really been a huge supporter of Stillbanging, playing in our minor league disc golf tour along with our PDGA sanctioned events this year. And we could not be more appreciative of him and Teresa. So thank you, David, as well. His game is come up a long way, and his brother's not bad either.
Yep.
All right. Here's your division right here, Matt. Talk about it.
No, this is the AM side of it, but Jeremy Dale Richards, man, the elusive lefty goes out and does it again, lays down an 8-stroke smackdown on second place and beyond. And Jeremy's another one of those guys. Took a little bit of time off, and did some other things, and he's getting back into it. And this was a solid showing for him. Again, 1 round well above his rating, 1 round slightly below his rating. He's going to actually probably average out and still be better than his rating. So he'll see a good bump too. But it's nice to see Jeremy out there. It'd been a minute since I'd seen him. Good to see him on the other side of the TD's desk for a change. He does a lot with the NADGT. So glad to see him show up and hope to see him at more of them. Congratulations.
And I've got to speak on both third place and fourth place with John Bradham and Brad Beatty, 2 gentlemen from Prison City Chain Gang who've been huge supporters of Stillbanging throughout this whole year as well, playing in pretty much every event that we've had this year. Want to give them a shout out and thank them so much. Brad, also with Prison City Chain Gang this year, supported and sponsored Southern Star Duo. I should have done a better job of shouting that out, and I will make sure that we do so here coming up shortly. But thank you to Prison City Chain Gang. But really, here's the touching part, and I don't know if you know this, Matt, but number 2 in the second place, Mr. Stephen Herrick. It has been a long time since I've seen Stephen, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of almost a year and a half, if not 2.
Before he
I used to play with him quite a bit at Spring Valley for leagues on cards quite often as well. His game was really, really improving, but unfortunately, Stephen had something extremely horrifying happen to him, And it was the first time that he's really been out and played. And it was just really great to see him. I don't really want to talk about what had happened. If you want to find that out, you can find that information out on your own. But it was just wonderful. It was really, really good to see him out there. The fellowship that I hope that he enjoyed as well being out there, because there's a lot of people who just care and want to see great, good things happen to him.
Yeah. Good to see him back in the saddle again.
For sure. Now we go into MA1. Oh my goodness. Who's that on top?
Man, let me tell you something. I mean, he's my boy, and couldn't be more proud of him. I think even he would tell you he didn't have his best day. But I'm going to give props where it was due. He's not, he's growing up in life as well, and he's got a job where he's not been able to catch as many tournament round just because of his responsibilities, but he really wanted to finish the year strong with a good tournament, and he got a pretty good field that came out there. He wasn't the highest ranked player in his division and still came out there, and I had the pleasure of watching him, of course, on live scoring throughout the day. But he was behind after round number 1 and then comes out and takes the lead, and I watched that thing yo-yo back and forth. It was like somebody would make a great shot and somebody would make a brain fart between him and Charles Mayo. And in the end, it was Connell's turn to brain fart on the 18th hole, and he missed a birdie putt that just flat out hockey masked the basket. And, it was unfortunate, but it went to a sudden death playoff. And number 1 at McDade is not a bad hole to start your sudden death playoff with. It is a good challenge, offers multiple routes, but each route has its risk and reward, and it's not a shorty hole. It just isn't. I watched both of these guys take 2 different approaches. Mayo took a hyzer off the box and went and skipped off the hard deck on the top of the little hill there and got a nice skip and put it just outside circle 1 at the on the right side of the basket. Connell takes the exact opposite route and, flicks a disc that goes beautifully around the tree. It was like the thing had eyes and had a blinker on board and just knew when to turn. And he skipped and came up about 30 feet short in I'd say the 7 o'clock position facing the basket. And I sat there and I was like, one of these guys is going to lose it right here. And I'll be damned, they both made the putt. That was the incredible thing. So they went on to hole number 9. Hole number 9. Is it? Yeah, hole number 9 out there. And Mayo was first on the box, and he threw this wonderful shot that was going at the basket with a slight hyzer. And he caught one of these skips where it was like, I call it the Helen Keller skip, because it skips and it's like it doesn't see a single tree and you don't hear a single tree, but you're in trouble kind of thing. Then he just got one of those skips that kind of put him down on the lower side of the ditch to the left of the basket. And ironically enough, the door was open for Connell, and Connell threw almost the same shot, although I think he threw a disc with a little bit of a fatter rim than what Mayo had thrown. And to be honest with you, the skip that Connell got skipped it right off the bottom of the cage and left him with a drop in for a 2. And at that particular point, Mayo threw his putt, gave it a good run, but didn't make it. And Connell got the drop in. And then we all were subject to the bromance hug that took place over there. And, Connell came out with the win. So I'm proud of the boy for the mental fortitude, proud to see him continue to grow and, expect big things from the young man as he goes into 2024. So congrats, son.
How about talking about 2 Stillbanign team members as well, taking first and second? Got to love that. I mean, that was just awesome to see. I love how y'all always quantify that. He didn't have his best day, but if I go back and I look at the numbers, if I'm not mistaken, when you're 934 rated and you shoot a 952, 975, I'll take one of those not best days that y'all keep claiming not to be having sometimes. Just want to say, I hear that from disc golfers all the time. Y'all can be 12 down and still say I missed something. It's just, and you're unhappy.
I think
I'm just saying, be happy.
They're always happy, but that's part of what got them where they are, is not settling for where they are and knowing what they leave out there. And Connell's come a long way. I used to say, people were like, he has such talent, and then he would get so frustrated. And I said, he's just like every kid his age. He's got $1 million arm and a 5-cent head, and now he's 20 years old, and he's matured as a player, and he still has his moments just like the rest of them. I think he's genetically predisposed to some jerk moments. I'm not going to say where he gets it from, but at any rate, he really kept his cool here, and he did a good job. And I got to say, man, I was real proud of the boy for winning that tournament.
Yes, and Claire, you leave him alone. Okay, let's move on to our next division, which would be the MP60.
So this was kind of interesting. These are two guys. Well, I tell you what, Marcus is kind of interesting to me because he's usually an AM 60, but I think we talked for a little. He showed up at my course first, and he goes, "Well, I went into this division because I didn't see anybody on the AM side, so I figured I'd go ahead and play on the pro side where I'd at least have some competition." And in one of those rare moves of a guy who truly enjoys being a true amateur, Marcus wins this event in handy fashion, and then turns down the cash in exchange for merch instead, and to maintain his AM status. But proud of the man for stepping up. He took on a player. I mean, that was a good battle. I mean, it was well reflected. They were 1 point off of each other in rating, 5 points, 5 strokes off of each other. I mean, it's just, it could have been any which way, but Marcus comes out with the pro win, and congratulations.
I love the divisions where at least they're shooting over their rating, because that tells you that they're ready to go, ready to compete. Big fan of that. So let's move on to the MP 50 and some of our favorite players in this area.
Man, I tell you what, I'm not quite to that division yet, but when I look at this particular field, I was kind of jealous that I wasn't 50. You know what I'm saying? Alex Hughes, the sensational grunster of this side of town. I mean, every shot he throws, it's like you'd swear he drops a testicle. But he's such a good guy, and when you go out there and you're ready to compete against him, the man is a consummate professional when it comes to competing. Troublemaker, dude. This guy, I mean, Ben Gay needs to sponsor him because the dude lathers it up and slaps on the braces and gets through everything. And he goes out there, dude, and he'll be hobbling along at the end, but my God, he plays so well. And I quite expected a close battle between Edward and Alex. I did not expect Edward to win by the margin that he won by. I sat and talked with the both of them at the bar afterwards, or at the brewery rather afterwards, and just listening to them talk about it. Alex will tell you again, he's one of those guys. I didn't have my best day, but then again, there was Edward, and I got to tell you, I watched that card for a few holes, and Edward was on. He has. Ever since he switched back to throwing darts for a putter, like I don't care what anybody says how ugly your disc is. I carry one of the ugliest no longer in production discs ever made, and you can do amazing things with it when you're comfortable with it. Who cares what, if it's not the flavor of the day, you stick with it. And Edward's gotten back to those, and it shows, man. He's making these long putts. I mean, I'd say he's probably between circle one's edge and circle two's edge, I'd say Edwards probably got a pretty good ratio that day. I'd say somewhere in the 35-40%, which is good numbers as far as that goes. I'd take it for a batting average.
He's one of the best putters in this area. I don't care what his age is. I've watched this man putt. I've seen him play, and especially when he's competing. Yeah, he's deadly. I mean, he's just deadly. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the MP40 division.
Wow. What a stacked division. Look at the ratings that are in that division. I mean, everything kind of settled out the way that you kind of thought it would. I've not had the pleasure of playing against Mr. Downey. But I'm going to tell you something. The man posted 1,003 rating for his second round, and that's saying something.
Little Egypt, not the open bomb course. You're talking about the tight wooded course.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I started playing this sport, the MP 40 division or the Pro Masters 40 division was kind of a joke division where, the old schoolers went to go, hang out and have fun. But that division is not like, as the game has progressed, some of the great players that were, in their younger years are now aging into these divisions. And so these divisions are becoming legitimately stacked. Brian Reisinger is a great example of that. Brian and I both turned pro at the same time, and I enjoy playing against Brian, another great competitor. But to take on the likes of Chris Farnham and Jonathan Benty, and and be able to best one of them and tie the other. That's a good weekend right there. And he too shot a 1,003 rated round for his second round at Little Egypt. I mean, it's interesting. You would think, statistically speaking, that Little Egypt is the tougher of the two courses. I mean, even though there's no OB, the amount of trouble you can get in out there is incredible. And I was kind of shocked looking at the results to see that it was the course that yielded better ratings for more players. I mean, McDade is it's a birdie or die course. We know that, but I feel like that day I saw some uncharacteristic play out there, and that course played tougher than it usually does. So kind of an interesting twist, if you will.
And not a bad take home. Also,
Mm-mm.
almost
Mm-mm.
$500 for first place. Not a
That's
bad
exactly
day's
right.
work for 1 day work if you can get it. Now
No,
let's move on to, we've already done the FPO. So now let's move on to the big boys. Here we go.
Okay.
Name upon the top of the rankings again.
I look, here again, look at this field that we had here. I mean, tickled my heartstrings when I saw Odie come up to me that day. I was like, good God, I didn't even realize he was on the list. And there he was, and I miss playing with Matt Odenwilder. And I got to tell you, that man, he's got a tennis background, and he has one of the most fluid swings in disc golf that you'll see. It's incredible, and it was so good to see him out there. I know he didn't have his best day at all, but still the caliber of player that he is, the caliber of players that we had all over this field. I mean, my goodness. I actually, in looking at the field, felt my favorites for that day turned out to be, I got 3 of the top 4 correct. It was a toss up between Matt Hall and Freddie for me. Matt plays McDade extremely well. He's always played it well, as bears it out, 1,005 rating, and at that course, but then goes out and ends up running into a buzzsaw. Freddie just went out and did Freddie, man. I mean, the guy is yeah, man. El Campeon. I'm telling you what, we need to get him a shirt that says El Rey del Disco. I mean, we
Yeah.
really do. The guy is just incredible. He's a great inspiration to other Latin American players. He's such a great guy. And I gotta say, the guy should win an award for the most drastic hairstyle changes on tour in a given year. It's like every time I see him, I got to readjust. Oh, that's Freddie. But he played solid golf again, defended the home turf very, very well. I expected nothing less from him. But congratulations to him, and all the hard work that he's put in. I know that he's with Lone Star, and he's done good things with them, and they've done good things with him. So very deserving that he wins this tournament, and just great competition all around, Chris. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I really love that last comment you said about Matt playing well there and how he kind of didn't do so well at Little League. And I don't know if you take notice, but I do appreciate the my Christmas fund that Freddie donated to before the tournament, because each time that I was able to watch Matt perform any type of shot, a bogey was going to be attached to it. So I am now the reason why he is he failed his test against Freddie at Little E, is because 3 out of the 5 bogeys that he had were my fault. So Freddie, thank you so much. Everything worked out really, really well. I appreciate that. But if you haven't heard it, just go and look on his post where his wrap up is quite entertaining. I get blamed for it, so I'll take it.
I hear you. I hear you. But no, great tournament though, Chris. And it was a great way for us to wrap up the year. I'm glad we did it. It's all about the players, and I think heard a lot of good comments. People enjoyed the payout. Thought that things went well there. I think it was fitting. I feel, and again, it's not for us to judge since we ran it, but I had a couple of people that did come up to me at the end of the day at the brewery and said, that they were glad that this tournament didn't just go away, just didn't just stop. And a lot of them that said that the tournament had the same feel that it had in years past. And that's really what we wanted. There was nothing that needed to be fixed with this tournament. Andy did a phenomenal job for years, and I cannot go without saying thank you to Andy and thank you to Dave for giving us the blessing and the opportunity to run the event. We'd love to do it again next year. I think it's just one of those deals where I was honored to be the assistant TD for the event for many, many years with Andy, and I was glad to be able to pick up the torch and carry it for this tournament. I hope it continues because it's a great staple in our area and a great way to end the year.
Woo, sorry. And to sneeze there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I agree. And so before we wrap up this and move on to the next big topic and our final topic for the evening, I do want to have a shout out to a couple people. First, I'd like to shout out you as the tournament director and everything that you did this past weekend. I tell you what, running an event with you is just like butter. It's very smooth, very easy, and somewhat effortless. Everybody knows where to be and what to do and what their roles are. It makes it very easy for us to perform our duties. So thank you so much for your guidance and leadership on that as well. I think people appreciate that. I know I do.
Thank you.
Second on that, I'd also like to thank our team, Charles Mayo and Connell Stillwagon. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Great performance this weekend and great support that you do for Stillbanign as well. And there's a little hidden gem for me that I want to give a special shout out to. And he's my little gnome. He's about 5 foot, maybe 4'9", somewhere around that. But he has done wonders for me. He's been so supportive for everything that I do and has been with me through the thick and thin and has been so supportive of Stillbanign as well. He's always been there for us and doesn't ask for anything and just does so much for us. And that's John Bowen. And I want to give a huge shout out to you, John. Thank you so much. He's just always able to step in, help me out, know what I need being so old, especially when I'm out there by myself and no one else is there with me like this past weekend. So thank you for that. But really, yeah, it means the world to me. So thank you all, but also to our sponsors, like you said, Southern Star Dave, also Lone Star Travis. Thank you so much for all the signage and the support, the disc, also park fees, things that people don't understand that has to be done with these sponsorships that help Matt and I run these events the way that we do. So thank y'all all so much. So enough sappiness, even though we mean it from our hearts. Thank y'all all so much. So Matt, you know what time it is now? We have some new and exciting information, and it's time for you to let everybody in on it, because I know we've been getting hit over the head about where's it going to be, what's going on. Come on, come on, come on. Y'all behind the times and the schedule. Let's hear it. Here it is.
Okay. No rest for the weary here at Stillbanign. While everybody was putting their post Southern Star wrap-ups up online and talking about the end of their season. It was the end of our season too, but that doesn't mean we stop. It just means we're already playing 2024 and 2023 isn't even over yet. And so with that comes, this is the time of year we waited for all the majors and the A tiers and such to be approved, and we've taken a look at a lot of things, and we are ready to roll on a reload of Texas State doubles for 2024. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of back and forth about the event. We will this year run this as 2 separate weekends. They will not be back to back like they were this past year, but we're going to run 2 separate weekends. We will be going to Shawshank. This is the swan song. This is the final version of Texas State doubles at Shawshank. There was lots of discussion as to which way we were going to go on this, and in the end, because of the fact that some of the plans that we're working on for the future of this tournament need to be lined up very, very methodically, we felt it best to go one last time out to Steve's place. We like, Chris and I are old 80s and 70s rockers, and we like to have our little themes and such with our stuff. But, Chris came up to me and he said, we got to talk about a logo for this year at Shawshank for Texas State doubles. And I said, no, we don't have to talk about it. I've already got it. So for those of you that play out there and have played this tournament, it's not your typical PDGA B tier. Hell, it's not your typical PDGA XB tier for that matter. Steve's place really puts the country portion in perspective, along with the Notorious Dog. And I do say notorious with a heavy no to it, which runs amok from time to time. Steve has gotten into chickens. I think he does this because it is the only animal in the local animal kingdom that may be louder than him. And those chickens have made some appearances at some tournaments at inopportune times. So we felt that we want to put the dog and the chicken in the jail with Steve. And that is the logo that you have in front of you. The squirrel is a nice touch because that whole place and the owner are squirrely. There is a story behind.
That's what Andy always barks at. She's over there up the tree barking at those squirrels.
And then there is the milk bone that is between Steve's legs there, and Steve himself will know exactly what that has to do with. But for those viewers that are looking at this logo, going, "What the hell does this mean?" Years ago we held the money heavy infamous Better Off Dead tournament out there, and Steve ended up on a card with me, much to my chagrin, and I was pretty much mopping up on the card, and I had a very large money shot and on Green Mile, and Steve waited until I was in the middle of my run up, and he threw a milk bone right between my legs, and the dog went nuts, and I went ass over tea kettle practically. To say that I came up a little hot might be an understatement. So this is my no hard feelings, you bastard, poke at Steve right there for that incident. But Steve has taken it all in good stride, and I even saw a post from him. He actually took your post, Chris, with the logo and said, "This is the best logo yet." So I think, this is going to translate very well. It's a perfect homage to go with a caricature for a caricature. Okay. And it works out extremely well for that. Now, a couple of things. I think that the negative side to being in a big city disc golf area is there's so many people so spread out, as things get oftentimes lost in translation and the rumor mill starts. And the rumor mill that came from last year's tournament for the Texas State doubles was that Stillbanign doesn't do payout, which wasn't really true. Everybody got $60 of their entry back for their own credit at the Stillbanign shop. So it wasn't that nobody got payout, it's that everybody got an alternative payout. But I think that because of that confusion, we're going to go back. Well, I know we are going to go back to a traditional payout system. Now, with that traditional payout system, we have lowered the price of entry by $20 per player this year. We're definitely going to try and keep this event good and friendly. Now, this event fills up extremely fast, and I mean very fast. And so, as we have done in the past couple of years, we will offer the early registration option. You can sign up your team if you pay your entry, and you do a $100 whole sponsorship for the tournament. These sponsorships are important. They go back towards product for the event, CTPs, things of that nature. It all goes towards helping it to make a very successful event, and it allows people that have traditionally not been able to sign up because they missed that mad dash for sign up. It gives them the opportunity to get in early. So for those of you that are wondering, the early registration date will start on December 22nd. That is the Friday before Christmas. So if you're looking for a last minute stocking stuffer, then this is it right here. Get your buddies in, sponsor a hole, and get ready to come on out and play the tournament. Now that early registration is going to go until the 22nd of January. And then after that, on the I believe is the 22nd of January when we got General Reg opening up there, buddy?
Correct. Well, actually,
Or is it the
no,
23rd?
the morning of the 23rd will be open registration.
That is correct. Okay, there we go. Now, this will be the registration for the FA and MA fields. This will not be age protected and will not be mixed. That event will start its sign up campaign on the day that general registration opens up for the first weekend. And the weekend for the age protected is going to be the weekend immediately after Texas State's itself. So for those of you that, that have that lull that you just want to get out and get that competitive fire after watching the pros go out and play, or you didn't have the tournament you wanted for Texas State's, this would be a fun little redemption area. And that weekend will be all the age protected field, and it will be a mixed division as well. So lots of stuff coming up with this. It's again, it's going to be a great tournament, great camping, the usual player party that is always a blast up there. Everybody knows what this tournament's about. Everybody knows how I've run it for many, many years, and I'm honored to do it again. And I'm glad we have done this with Steve. It's been awesome, but I don't want, just to control the rumor mill. The reason that we will be making this last year at Steve's is the event has gotten so big. We are going to need a multi-course facility to in the years to follow. And we've already started negotiations with that, and I don't want to take away from this coming year's Texas State doubles. So all I will say at this particular time is that there is a 95% chance that Texas State doubles will not be held in the Houston area in 2025. And we'll just leave it at that for right now. But in the meantime, early registration, sponsor a hole. Let's get ready to blow this thing up. Yes, we held off announcing anything a little bit because we really do strive. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes at Stillbanging that we don't want to put something out hastily. We want to discuss it. Shout out to my crew who admittedly probably kept me from making a bad decision this year for the tournament. And so that's the advantage. Sun Tzu's Art of War says that great leaders surround themselves with generals who are extremely intelligent. And, while I question if any of us are extremely intelligent, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So, couldn't do it without them. I think we made the right decision. I'm really looking forward to closing out strong with Steve. And so one last year at Shawshank, I'd really like to see everybody up there to support it. And we got a lot of stuff planned for it.
Amen on that, Matt. Yep. And we'll get more information as you go, but please go ahead and look at Disc Golf Scene. That information is in the About section to give you a good understanding of what's going to be needed for early registration. Also, don't forget you will be asked to pick your shirt sizes as well, just like we did last year. There's not a charge to that. So sign up $170 a team, whole sponsorships $100. There's other levels in there. There's other choices in there. We put some things in there this year to help y'all out. So thank y'all. We definitely appreciate all the sponsors that we get. Well, Matt, that's it for me. Do you have anything else before we go tonight?
Chris, and to everybody that watches the Fling Show, Chris is a dynamic person and has done an awful lot for the disc golf community. He doesn't ask for anything in return. He doesn't, do this for ulterior motives or anything. Chris truly loves the sport. He's been a good friend to many players, myself included. He's great about supporting the little guys too. And I think that in this day and age where the sport has so many things going on, it's easy to talk about the big names, but I think it's equally important for the growth of the sport that there are people out there that support the little guys. And Chris does a phenomenal job at that. Does a phenomenal job with the Fling Show. Been through a lot of changes with the Fling Show, and yet this man is here every Wednesday. So, Chris, if I was wearing a hat, I would tip it to you right now. But since I'm not and I don't wear a toupee, you're just going to have to take my thank you to you on behalf of Stillbanign for what you do with us, and on behalf of the disc golf community as a whole for the Fling Show and all of the networking that you do on a constant basis. Nobody gives the award for what goes on behind the scenes, but you, my friend, are the definition of a duck. You look very calm on top of the water, but I know you paddle like hell just to make sure you don't drown. So thank you, sir.
I appreciate that, Matt. Very much so. All right, my friend. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all so much for joining the show. Next week will be the wrap-up show for the end of the year and our Christmas special as well. I can't wait to show that. I hope y'all who played this week in the tournament enjoyed the video. It's always a pleasure to hear my commentating. Sometimes I have to step back and go, yeah, I know why I shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, I appreciate y'all all understanding as well. Thank y'all for joining the show. Until next week, as we say, go throw something in the air, play disc golf, do something nice for somebody. Just something. Who knows? Make it random. Until next week, my friends, we got to watch Mikey roll.
Here we go. We have a wiener. That is funny, but it's funny if you fell. Dang it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was hoping you'd fall, though. Yeah, I mean, it's not real deep. You can stand up there. I said it's not real deep. You can stand up there. How like you're gonna drown. I think I want to see how far you can just bring it up on shore. All the way. Come to me. All the way. Come on, you can do it. The faster you go. Come on. Come on, come on.
It's okay. It's alright. It's okay to shine your light. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Love you, Nibby. Oh, that's awesome. He was hitting that note like John hitting that tree. I love you, John. All right, man. Peace.